All right. All right, let's do some live um, market open. Let's see if we can check out some good spot and plan something before the opening. Can we have finally some bottom here after a few days? I mean, it's been the whole week like just red, like just a bloodbath, like going down again and again, and yeah. Let's see if we can see some positive point here. Let's start directly with SPY. So it's opening slightly negative right now on the pre-market, like minus 0.1, so it's almost break even. If we look at the 1 hour, we can see that we were already undervalued on that spike, and we dropped once again here. So we are already like in a, I mean, currently in some kind of undervalued zone here, which is positive. I would say if we want to see some pullback and going higher from there. If we look now maybe on lower time frame, I really put it some target. For me, the target is here, because we have, you see this huge candle with a huge volume compared to its average. So it's basically where you have liquidity residing. Specifically this candle, if we check on the 5-minute, it's clean. It has almost not been recovered. It's it has like a huge size compared to the candle that you can see there. Like if you look at the last 10-20 candles, they are way smaller than this one. So I think that's a good target that we could go reach for SPY. So that's what I'm gonna spot for now there. That's gonna be my projection. We could see here like that we have a possible W formation. Let's remove this air and air. Yeah, that could be something we could add up to the analysis, but yeah, it's not usually something I'm gonna take really into account for my trade. It's mostly, okay, are we undervalued? Yes. Do we have clean target? Yes. So that could be a good trade. That could be a sign that we could go higher from now, for sure. It could also, like, first going back, recovered some liquidity in that area before going back up, or totally break down. Who knows? But this is the plan for now. QQQ, yeah, QQQ, we took a bleed, literally in the last days. I don't know much from the top. Yeah, it's like 5%. It's not that crazy, but it's still like a big drop on QQQ. What can we see from here? We could see that we had here a big liquidity residing in that, which was recovered there. And once again, we tap in that zone. Before going on the lower time frame, we can also see that we are undervalued here. We are slightly, I mean, not even slightly, we enter this undervalued zone at standard deviation, and this big line, the big one, is 3 standard deviation. So it's quite way undervalued, which is like, it's similar setup as SPY. Let's go maybe on lower time frame. It's even better. We are even more undervalued on the 1 hour. we also have a very clean target on QQQ. I think the setup is even better on on QQQ than on SPY. So liquidity target, let's put it 1 hour. So yeah, that would be our target. Similar setup, but I would say it's even better setup than SPY. So if I would have to take a trade, I would put it on QQQ instead of SPY. And actually, the pre-market is positive on QQQ, which is not on SPY for the moment. So it kind of goes a bit in that direction. I wanted also to see, yeah, here we don't see that much for the liquidity to recover, but it's still a big zone here with that week, and actually they did recover all that week on the last push down. So this one could still be valid. That could still be a good pound to rebound. We could look at the lower time frames. Same. It's a bit undervalued here, which adds up. Like 15 minutes. So 15 minutes, 1 hour, 4 hour, everything is undervalued on QQQ. I think we could definitely see a pullback today to reach and recover this target. Yeah, in the next few hours, today or tomorrow maximum. That would be my setup. All right, for QQQ and SPY, maybe let's look to some crypto quickly. So obviously, we had some disgusting trading action on crypto. It was very, very complicated. Bitcoin, yeah. So Bitcoin recovered or almost recovered like this huge candle. Once again, it's a very good sign. So we could put liquidity daily. This is quite strong. If we can get a rebound from this liquidity, that's definitely some kind of move that's gonna bring us way higher. And if we look at targets, we have this one which is clean. I already put it some smaller target on small time frame, so you could target this one. But a second one that is quite clean is this zone, and maybe let's look on the daily if we can see. All right, so here we see this one. I would say this one is high volume, has been a bit recovered, but not fully. So we could still target this, but I think the big target on Bitcoin is this one at, yeah, it's all the way back to 115,000, 120,000. Yeah, I will put this at daily target. So yeah, I think it's a pretty good setup on crypto. Obviously, we lost a lot, and there is a lot to recover. If we look quickly at Ethereum, it's quite the same. We already bounced this zone. There was also a lot of liquidity. Look at this candle. It's insane, and the size is absolutely insane compared to the rest. It's not, yeah, it's pretty normal recovery, I would say. And this zone is still holding for now. So if we don't go below this 2000 around 2100 zone, there is nothing to worry about, I would say. If we go below that, yeah, I would start to be a bit more cautious. But from here, once again, I think it's a very good setup to now rebound and going higher and recover like all those liquidity. I'm not going through all those liquidity pool that we have to recover. But you see that there is all the way you have so much different target. We are slightly undervalued now. On the daily, we are also very undervalued. So it's all good sign, and I would be kind of optimist to maybe end this week way better than what we started. You're gonna say, okay, it's not difficult with the week we had. I can see that SPY is turning green, and QQQ also 0.25, so it's quite nice. Let's hope it continues like this. But yeah, to finish with crypto, I'm pretty positive. If not this week, I would say next week that we have a big move up, recover some of the ground, and yeah, that we lost the last few days and weeks, and starting to see a bit of higher prices. That would be great, I think, for everybody in crypto and BMNR if you are like me in those kind of treasury stocks. All right, so we covered SPY, QQQ, some crypto. What else can we see on the market that has been interesting those last few days? So yesterday Palantir lost 11%. Yeah, a very, very big move for Palantir. We had liquidity here. If we look at the daily, I had this liquidity, it has been broken. We had liquidity even below. So currently, I don't think there is much to worry about if we manage to actually close the week above 145. So we have this support at 145 on the weekly. And if we manage to, so this one has been recovered, let's remove it. If we manage to close this candle above 145, that would be obviously very nice. And that would confirm kind of the support that actually the support is still alive. Let's put it that way. And yeah, it would be great to pull back from there for sure. I can see that I have some liquidity targets still put it. So over there, let's look on the lower time frame. So yeah, the first thing is that huge candle is going to be recovered extremely fast. So if we go a bit lower time frame, this is what you should target. And actually it's going target 1 hour, target 1 hour, and actually it's going in the direction of the story of a rebound before the end of the week. If we can reach this target today or tomorrow, it will close, Palantir will close above 145, which means that we still have the support holding. And yeah, and you still have, you see this candle, huge volume. That's also the target. That was my first target before the drop. Obviously it dropped a bit lower. It didn't bounce totally. It bounced from here like after earning, but then totally crashed afterward. But if we still manage to hold this support as a weekly support and close above it, yeah, I would say target this 150, 155 zone, and then if we can break above that, I would go and target 175, 180, something in those area. All right, for Palantir, which one? I think Oud was interesting also. Lost a bit more than 7% yesterday. So Oud, yeah, I had this target. I hope we're not gonna reach it, but I had this target at 66.70, around $70, and one other at 85. 88 that just got recovered. So yeah, this one has been recovered. And this one is very close. We could go see 70. So yeah, if you want to wait on odd, you can wait for that. I can see also that we have a trend line here, which is probably on the weekly. So yeah, you see this trend line that brings us here, and it's exactly the confluence that we have at $70. So if you want to wait a bit more and be more cautious on odd, you can wait for this area, for this 70 area. That would match this trend line, this liquidity zone, and on top of that, we would be very undervalued on the daily. So that could be the perfect setup before going higher, obviously. Yeah, same on 4 hour. We are undervalued in this area. Hour, what we can see is that it's trading down, nothing to see, but yeah, I think just the daily. So that's also the thing, like on the lower time frame, 1 hour, 15 minutes, even the 5 minute, we could still go way lower. So be careful. I would actually wait, or what you can do is you can sell put option in that zone. It's also a valid option. But if you want to enter the stock directly, buy the stock directly, you can wait until it reaches $70, or you start to DCA from here. I don't think there is nothing wrong buying here. I think odd at 80 is an amazing price. It's gonna go higher in the next few weeks for sure. There is nothing to worry about. But if you want to basically have the best price possible, that's up to you. You decide. Like if you take a bit more risk to miss a trade, but you get better price, or you have a safer entry, and you are okay about getting a bit worst fill kind of in term of price entry. But you can mix both. You can start entering a position and then, for example, entering a second one there if it drops to 70. That's definitely some possible strategy that you can have. What else? If we look at Nvidia, maybe. Nvidia. So Nvidia has been in that range, very boring range on Nvidia for a long time. It starts to be undervalued. So I mean, Nvidia it's a great play no matter what at those prices, 175. It's amazing. It's already actually up 2% pre-market. So Nvidia starts to do very well. We had some kind of support here forming for Nvidia that we can kind of put for our, let's put it in that color. This one was not very respected anymore. But yeah, so support zone, undervalued. I'm pretty sure we can see some target in that area. Yes, we can see it. We are very undervalued in the 1 hour. Very good also. We could put some kind of indication H1 here to see if that plays out. And so the entry and the target, for me, the clear target is this. Look at the spike on the volume. Look at the size of this candle. Basically, this 183, 186 zone is my target for Nvidia. Target. Let's put it in the 15-minute, like that we know. So yeah, we could expect a bounce from here. from Nvidia, which it already did actually in the pre-market. But be careful of the pre-market, because we know that gaps tends to be recovered. So if we open there at around 2% up at market open, be careful. If you want to be a bit more safe, wait at least to a recovery of this gap before going higher and recovering, maybe recovering this zone later on. That would be my play, for sure. Once again, you can play it by using by selling put option in that area, whatever your risk tolerance is. If you want to be a bit more aggressive, you go 75. If you want to be a bit more safe, you go on the support zone at 72, something like that. Yeah, that's definitely some option for Nvidia. All right. So we have, yeah, maybe Google. What else do we have? No, I think we could look at SMCI that pumped yesterday. That could be interesting if some of you are out there, because yeah, that's a big move and they could recover it. So we could look a bit there. So yeah, I had a pretty good analysis of a drop here and a recovery that played pretty well, but it was a few days ago. Actually, this one, I don't have this trade anymore, so I can remove it. So SMCI gapped up yesterday after earning. They beat everything. So now, yeah, now we have to be careful. If we look at the daily chart, no, 4-hour chart, there is definitely liquidity. There is gaps, liquidity in that zone. So this whole zone is a very nice target for SMCI. SMCI, we know that we are on SMCI. So target for our. So if you want a target, for me it would be this 45-50 zone. But if we look at a lower time frame, before looking at lower time frame, also one other thing, possible W formation, possible support in that zone. So there is kind of a lot of confluences, right, to bounce from here, which is very good. But what I wanted to say is that on the lower time frame, for basically today and tomorrow, maybe you want to be careful. I wouldn't FOMO on SMCI and be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna miss the trade. And yeah, there is multiple reason. First reason, there is this huge gap that tends to be recover. So it's 1 hour. That's the first thing, the gap. The second thing is that we are overvalued here. Let's put it a signal down on the 1 hour, and maybe we can see if, yeah, there was, look at this candle. Yeah, we can just look. So this candle was the perfect target. Why? Because of the size, because of the volume, and it was very clean. No recovery, almost no recovery of the candle. So I mean, to recover, if we take into account the wick, there was some recovery, but there was still a lot of liquidity residing. And now it's recovered. The problem is, now that it's recovered, like usually it announced some pullback. So because of this liquidity recovered, because of this overvalued zone, because of this gap below, I would say my projection would be on SMCI to go down first, recovering this big gap. That would be, yeah, we could go down on SMCI easily 10% today or tomorrow for sure. And then from there, as we saw that the setup on the higher time frame was really good, we could definitely go higher after that and recover after some time this target at at $45-50. So that would be my setup for SMCI. I think that's pretty much it for today. I'm sorry if I didn't see the chat or anything. That's my first live. I think I just hope that everything worked correctly. And I'm gonna try to do live stream like this on pre-market because I'm in Thailand currently. So for me, it's already 4:40. So 4 p.m. 5 p.m. So yeah, market open is at 9:30 p.m. So it's quite. I could do that also maybe someday, but yeah, I think that's great because at least now you have some plan. It gives you some times to go through all those stickers. Check for yourself. Do your own analysis. Don't believe me on anything. Just maybe look at what I did. Do your own analysis based on that. Take some information. And yeah, and now plan. Like that's the thing. I think that's a great idea to plan ahead of the market open and not being like surprised. Markets opening and then you have position, you don't know what to do. Should I sell? Should I buy? Should I sell some options? Is this a great setup? And you don't know, and then when you don't know, you make mistakes. So at least if you plan before market is opening, you have like, you know, for all your position or your possible trade, you're like, okay, I know that if Palantir is going to zone, I can enter a trade. You can already put some order, right? On if that's your play, like to enter SMCI here, you could put a limit order in that area, right? So that's being a good trader, I think. It's being able to plan and not reacting to the market. Otherwise, yeah, it's the recipe for mistakes and losing money. But here, yeah, at least we have a few hours now to yeah, to plan everything before market open and do something else, chill a bit, and yeah, try to change your mind from market going down quite a lot the last few days. And yeah, I'll see you at the stream tomorrow again for the last day of the week. I'll see you. And we'll see from there, yeah, what we do. Yeah, thanks for your time, thanks for watching, and I see you later. See you guys.